Thank you for joining the Asheville Rise Stronger Together podcast. This is your host, Jessica Knupp with the Asheville Area Chamber of Commerce. I hope you enjoy today's episode. This episode is brought to you by our sponsor, True Point Bank. Hi everyone, today we are here with Nicole Will from Asheville Wellness Tours. I cannot wait to have this conversation. I love all the different things that you do and the collaborations, which I know some of them came out of the hurricane. So I'm excited to hear about all those. But tell us a little bit about yourself and your business.
Sure. Well, the business is easier to talk about than me. Asheville Wellness Tours, we started in 2017. It's our first season. And we started with yoga hikes and a walking tour downtown. The core of Asheville Wellness Tours was a collaboration. It was Dobra tea, yoga in the park, and the Salt Cave.
Oh.
And we have since developed an entirely new menu, just kind of following along with what people want and ask for. Everything we do is meant to be lighthearted, but kind of sneakily, deeply meaningful. So it's fun, but it's grounding and just supporting deeper connections for people and each other in Asheville.
Yeah, I love it. How many people usually go on the tours? Like, do you have what does that look like?
Sure. Well, we have we really specialize in private groups. Everything from bachelorette party to retirement and everything in between. And then there's a corporate arena where we bring wellness to corporate events, and then weddings. And so the group size varies dramatically depending on which kind of segment we're working with. But then we also have experiences that are sort of open to the public. So a solo adventurer can join in, or couples or smaller groups. So like a monthly sound bath or forest bathing retreats at the Arboretum.
Okay.
And then those group sizes tend to, we want to keep them a little more intimate, and we try to max out at about 15.
Oh, okay.
And then goat yoga, it can be a little bit bigger because goats are very friendly and they can manage up to about 30 folks.
I love it.
I
guess it was maybe a couple years ago now, time gets away from you, but I had reached out. We were doing something different, I remember Monday, and you were like, please come to our goat yoga. And I was like, I'll try my best. And you sent me the pictures, and I was like, man, I really should have made it. Like, I love it. How did that get started? I mean, like, can you...
Sure.
How did that get started? Like, goats and yoga?
The tale is that it started somewhere in the Pacific Northwest, I believe, and then obviously has become a trend. You were mentioning it's on Paw Patrol, even goat yoga.
It is. True story.
And the way it started for Asheville Wellness Tours was again a collaboration. We were contacted by a local farm, Round Mountain Creamery, out in Black Mountain.
Cool.
And they wanted to do goat yoga, but not operate goat yoga because their specialty is cheese.
Yeah.
Right, which is very different from asanas. So anyway, they reached out, and I'll be honest, at the time I thought, this is too ridiculous for me. I can't.
It's not going to work.
It's not going to work. Do people really want to do it? And they do. And it turns out there's really deep value in connecting to our sense of play and to just unplug like that for an hour and be with these little beings. We had a guest write in very early on in the program as we were developing it, and she said, hey, my friend lost her husband a month ago and we haven't seen her smile, and she laughed the whole time.
Aww.
Just thank you for what you're doing. And that for me was like, okay. we're doing this, and it's that balance, right, of like, this is really fun, but it can be meaningful.
I love that
too.
I love it.
Yeah, you have to do it.
I know. I'm going to. I promise. Can you kind of tell me a little bit about what you guys went through? Because I know it's our busiest season here in Western North Carolina. So kind of tell me how that kind of went.
Sure. We had a lot of bookings that weekend, and then through October. We actually had one of the yoga teachers, because nobody had cell service, we couldn't contact each other, and she was so excited about teaching the class she was going to teach. She went to the location on Saturday morning following the storm, the people weren't there.
Right.
We weren't holding the class.
Right.
But
you didn't know.
We didn't know.
You can contact anybody.
We couldn't contact anyone. And I think the most challenging thing in terms of the business operations is we couldn't reach all of these guests who had upcoming bookings. Mm-hmm. And when we were finally able to connect in client service, I mean, this was a couple weeks later, hundreds of emails and text messages and chats, and that people were really upset and frustrated because they weren't hearing from us. And I understand that. And then as the world started to recognize or be told how the situation was unfolding, I think people softened quite a bit.
Right.
But that was very stressful to not be able to do anything about it. We just had to really focus in then on water and food. And
making sure that your staff, and you were mentioning just sending out a blanket statement to kind of let people know, even though you couldn't do it. I mean, we're so reliant on being able to send that email. And I mean, being a business owner, customer service, like, of course you would want to respond to these people, and you have that coming. So, through working through all of that, those communications, how does it look? How's it coming back? Like, how have you been able to, kind of like redirect? Have some of those people come back?
Not yet. Yeah. I am optimistic that they will. I really believe that to be true. I feel hopeful and secure in the future. Right now, we're still down 60 to 70%. Which is stressful. Right. And also on the positive side, it really allows us time and space to dive into the creative process, program development, kind of the fun part of the job. We're also doing things like shoring up our SOPs.
Oh,
not very exciting.
Really exciting.
So much fun. But really, this year for us is the year of creative collaboration, and that is really what I get excited about. And so that is a silver lining, that we have time to rebuild community connections and build new ones.
And I think just because of like the nature of where we are, like, I mean, I say this all the time about the chamber. I mean, so many businesses just collaborate together, and I think it has really, although this has been such a disaster and so devastating, it really has brought us really close together too. Tell us some about the collaborations. I mean, I was reading about the retox. I mean, that sounds great. But tell us about that, and then you were mentioning some other things that you're working on right now.
Yeah, so we've built a couple of packages with local businesses. Asheville Brewery Tours. We're doing the detox to retox. So we take them for a yoga hike in the morning, and then they have some lunch, and then they go on a brewery tour, which I think is a really nice balance of sort of the creative ways that Asheville caters to travelers, and why not? Have a little yoga, have a little beer, nothing wrong with that.
I mean, you said it. Nothing wrong with that,
y'all. And then we just released, actually yesterday, our Summits to Sauna package with Drip Sauna. So we'll do another forest experience and then come back into town, and the group will have a private sauna cold plunge experience at their really beautiful, lovely location overlooking the mountains. So
that's so cool. Well, throughout this experience, we've really, as you mentioned, like relying on each other, as far as like a staff and like how are you guys working through those? I mean, I know you're being able to be creative and stuff, but like to support each other, like what does that look like?
That's a great question. What does it look like to support each other? I think we're all involved, in this creative process. Everybody has a voice at this stage where we're not so busy that we're just tunnel vision in the tasks that we need to complete. And so there's a lot of space and time for us to collaborate as a team, which has really been lovely. We start every meeting with a meditation, we settle in, and we just have more room for that. And that feels very supportive to me, and I hopefully to them.
I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does. You know, when you think about like what you've learned from this experience, like what do you think you'll take away from it? I mean, it was so, I mean, you've already mentioned, you know, like there were some good parts that have come out of it. I mean, I try to look positive through an experience like that, but I don't know, anything that you could share or any story that you know, went through with the hurricane or.
Yeah, I learned a lot during the pandemic, just about remaining open and flexible and receptive. And I think that has really served us well in this time period also. And just trying to find the moments of joy and the deeper connections. You know, we have these packages and we might not sell a single one this year, but the building of the package itself has been such a nourishing experience, and we're deepening these relationships that will last far beyond this time. And so for us, it has been very important to focus on that and the global view, not to be too woo, but the global view of abundance versus kind of scarcity mindset in the short term. And so we're really leaning into that, and I feel like that's a lesson that is evergreen.
Yeah, and I just love that. And you're creating those relationships that also when your guests come, they're gonna see that, you know, and they're gonna, I don't know, I just love our area so much because we can do those collaborations, and then that is gonna exude to your guests.
Yes.
And then they're gonna be like, you know, when last time we were in Asheville, we did this, and then they're gonna tell their friends, and you know, we're just so fortunate to have all of these different collaborations here.
We are really lucky. There's a group of us in the tours and attractions get together pretty regularly and check in. You know, we have several different brewery tours in the room together, electric bikes and rooftop bar tours, and goat yoga times 2. I mean, just everybody comparing numbers and stories, and so that we know we're not alone. And I know that other communities are more competitive, but we tend to, in Asheville, I love that, lean into that community spirit. And it's really special.
It really is. It really is. Because, you know, I have tried to explain that to people that aren't from, you know, our area. And they're like, what do you mean? You want to introduce me to somebody that does something similar to me? You know, and I'm like, no, it'll work. I promise, you know. And so just hearing it from you and what you're doing, you know, it just makes perfect sense to us, I feel like.
Right.
Well, if somebody's interested in like booking a tour, learning more, like how can they find you guys on, how can they do that?
Well, they could hop on our website, look at the full menu, AshevilleWellnessTours.com. And then we're also on social media. So LinkedIn, if they're corporate, we have kind of a focus on our meetings experiences there. And then Instagram is a great spot.
Yep, that's where I follow. I'll learn about all the detox to reach.
That's right.
How far are those hikes?
It's just a mile. It's a mile in. It's a 2 mile.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're very gentle.
See, you kind of lost me at a hike, but then if you say 1 mile, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's we take a nice slow pace.
Okay.
Yeah. We're trying to settle in, not exhaust ourselves.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha. So, well, that sounds great. You know, we really appreciate. Is there anything else you would like to share with us today?
No, I just appreciate the conversation. I'm excited to hear when the rest of them come out. I know a lot of my business buddies are sharing their stories too, and I'm excited to hear.
Yeah, we're so excited to get this started, and the Asheville Rise is something that actually came out of the hurricane. So, you know, we just want to be able to feature our members and, you know, really have an opportunity to share your story and what you've been through and what you're still going through and how we're going to come out on the other end.
Thanks.
So thank you.
Yeah,
so much.
I think, well, on that note, like, we are open.
Yeah, we WNC open for business. Yes.
Yeah, and ready. We welcome you with open arms.
That's
Come on.
right.
Come on over.
If you enjoyed today's episode, like, comment, and subscribe. To learn more about joining the Asheville Chamber, scan the QR code on your screen or visit ashevillechamber.org. Until next time.